Gustavo Ribeiro, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome virtually in Montreal. You are the director of a very, very moving film, I would say.
Thanks.
Napo, film from Brazil, which is also quite impressive because of its length. It's 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
I will first read the synopsis, which was given to us so our audience can understand a little bit better what the film is about, and then we'll begin the discussion.
Okay.
Great. John, unable to understand the illness that drives his grandfather between past and present states, stumbles into an old album full of photographs and then let the images guide his imagination, transforming his grandpa's memories into drawing interpretations. I guess that the secret of the success of such a film, it's 3D CGI animation. I want to mention that. So I guess that the secret of the success of such a film is in the storytelling. I think it's very, very basic and important. Can you tell us about that part of the production?
Like the storytelling section?
Yeah, script writing,
of the script. So this was a quite long process. I think that I spent almost 3 years developing more than 50 versions of this draft, like hundreds of pages, like talking with people, try to know more about the relationship between people and art, and the ways that one thing that was in the script at the beginning, but that I was not perceiving the importance, that I start to perceive the importance throughout time, was the power of memory of art to build memories. Like this was a thing that it was on the script from the start, and it took me some time to perceive that this should be like the main theme of the story, like how we can, because there are a bunch of ways that we can build connections and build memories, but like I remember that I perceived this in the moments that I was at some point I was in my kitchen and I felt a smell of a food that my mom always did. And I remember like when I was a kid, of those smell of me and her sitting on the table. And then I realized, oh, this is in my script, like the drawings and the paintings and the drawings that John is doing is the bridge that is connecting his grandpa to memories, but not in a logical way. Because the memories that when I remembered through the smell, it was a different type of remembering. It was not the same way of I'm trying to visualize the image. It was a different connection. And from the point that I perceived this, I was really trying to dig more about how art can connect people and how art can build memories and how art has a hugely important role in our society and in our lives, like to build memories. I am talking about a story of a grandson and I don't know how I can say, and his grandpa. But this story about how art connects both of them is mainly the story of all of us in some point, because art, like paintings, music, movies, they are marking our life and they are leaving footprints in our memories, and they are connecting with different portions of ourselves. And at some point when I was finishing the movie, I was realizing that I was talking about myself. about my relationship with art, because cinema for me, some people really enjoy something, but I think that I have a relationship with cinema because problems that I have when I was a kid that was mainly about survival. Like movies were what kept me alive, what kept me breathing, and it was literally this because I suffered a lot when I was a kid. And when I saw the final script and when I feel that it was ready, was the moment that I perceived that I was putting myself in there, and this storytelling that I was developing was really true to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was being a process of truth telling about the power of art. I was solving some problems of myself, like currying some things that I have with me, like this relationship about survival with movies that I have when I was a kid. I understood this completely when I did this movie. So the storytelling process for me was something really personal without I perceiving. That's what I was going inside my own fears and my own minds when I was telling about this.
Actually, you already answered one of my questions. I wanted to ask you, is it a film about the power of art? And you answered beautifully. The illness of the grandpa is never mentioned in the film. There are no dialogues in the film anyway. We understand that this is Alzheimer, right?
Yeah.
So were you inspired by a real person? Is it something that happened in your family?
No, it was not in my family. The project started with a talk that I had with a friend of mine that helped in the concept of the idea of the story. And he has a grandma with Alzheimer. And he was saying to me that he wanted to do something like about the relationship of a grandma and a kid. And then we started developing this story through this point. But our reference at the beginning, at the idea stage, was her grandma. And later on, it became like the bunch of documentaries that I saw, the Alzheimer Association that I call here in my city to know more about the family's experience. Because from the start, I perceived something different with the perception of the family about the Alzheimer, is that the perception of the kids were hugely different from the perception of the son that is already old. Like the son has already some barriers because he has a defined memory of what her father was. Like the kids don't have that strong sense of memory, so they can adapt with those relationship with the people with Alzheimer. So I was seeing a pattern, like kids deal with this in a different way. Like they approach more. They are, and some kids are not so afraid to approach someone with Alzheimer in their family. And I was seeing that the second thing that was really important is the power of staying at the side. You don't need to talk to love. You don't need to share memories to be present. For those people, you just need to be at their side. Like the memories are also built to touch, like touching hands, like with care. Like this is really important. And with more older people dealing with someone that has Alzheimer's, they start to create a distance in that relationship, and kids work in some way different. Like they always want to hug and talk more, even if the people is not understanding completely what they are saying. But there is a different relationship. So I based the approach in the way that I deal with Alzheimer, a lot on watching documentaries and talking with people that have the families that have this situation.
Yeah. I want to ask you a little bit about the production itself. The film has a very, very professional design. The art direction is very good. The characters are strong. The film is quite an achievement, and I understand that you made it by yourself. What kind of challenge was it to make the film look so good and so great?
So in the film, we had a small team, a really small team. I did mainly directing, screenwriting, like direction of photography, and some modeling. But we have had an art director also in the project that was really amazing. It's an amazing artist, but the process of developing the movie was, how can I say this? Like, doing animation from Brazil is not an easy thing because we don't have an industry in here. Like, we all are self-taught. Like in our production, every artist that were working in production were self-taught. We don't have like huge universities and huge schools and stuff like that. So the production was a kind of discovery. It was like we were discovering a continent, all of us at the same time, because we at the beginning we were striving to a really high quality, but we didn't understand the difficulties that we would have in the process. Like we were not able to grasp like how we will do this project. We were not realizing the dimension of the project. So in that sense, the production was more calm because we didn't have any idea of how difficult it would be. But the production process was really like, we tried to be as more efficient as possible because we were trying to achieve a really good level of quality. So one thing that was important for us were the production process in most of the big Hollywood blockbuster movies are really segmented. Like, you have a guy for each part of the process. Like, it's almost like a factory. And we try to see like 3D almost like a painting. I can't paint, like, I need to see the whole painting. I need to see the whole image. I need to see the image in the context of everything, because we didn't have enough artists to produce like I need to produce a book, I need to produce a computer, like to produce each of those things in an individual way. So we decided to produce everything in the context of the shot. So I had a shot that is showing the living room. This artist will solve all those problems, and will solve all in the context of the image, like the different saturation of the colors, like equalizing the image by himself. So in a sense, we were working with 3D, but we were like a painter, like trying to see the whole image as a whole. And this is really different from the process of other studios, because you have mainly segmented jobs for people to do a bunch of little pieces. In our movie, every artist that worked in the movie had a lot ownership, but he also had a lot responsibility with the process and with the image, because something that was really difficult for us, this decision was connected with something that we realized at the beginning, that consistency would be something really difficult if we did the process like in small pieces. So we would need to find another way, and the way that we find is that each artist needs to be responsible for the whole image as a whole. So we tried this different process to be able to maintain like a consistency of lighting throughout the whole movie, of texturing, of model, of design, of everything. It was easier because we were seeing everything in the context of the whole. It looks like something trivial, but it's not how animation is done on those days. is really segmented. Like you don't see the image, like the final image from start. But we are in a path now that we learn with some really experienced artists here in Brazil. One of them is Pedro Conti. Of always try to push for the final image. Always try to see everything. We are kind of craftsmen, but we are craftsmen that take care of the whole movie. So our process is quite different in that way.
Well, thank you very much, Gustavo, for taking the time to talk to us. It was very interesting, and I wish you a lot of success on that film and also on your future projects.
Oh, thank you.
It's a pity that we can't welcome you in Montreal, so please stay safe.
You too.
And we hope to welcome you in Montreal in the near future. So take care, Gustavo.
Thanks. I want to congratulate you guys to be doing this festival. And movies are more important now than ever before. So trying to keep the spirits of movies alive is a really important thing. So I congratulate you guys for all that effort that you are doing.
We totally agree, Gustavo. Okay, goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.